morning, y'all. What's up, dude? Yeah, it's gonna be a short day though. I'm not gonna be streaming all day today. It's already starting to rain a bit. Okay, you were saying you were not that great. What's going on? Share, brother, what's going on? Why are you not great? It's okay not to feel great. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just turning on my streams right now. I have to put my thing on Wi-Fi, or on data, one sec. So you said your stomach hurts. So I've been throwing up because I'm sick. I'm sorry to hear that. And my stomach hurts all the time. Maybe you should rest, dude. That's what I've been saying. If you don't sleep enough, you're gonna feel sick. I don't know what caused you to feel sick, but you need to sleep. All those late hours and whatnot is playing catch up now. Doctor's orders. Get some rest. Because if you don't sleep, because, seeing how you've been, on majority of the day, you don't want to have to bust out the jacket. It's because it's raining right now. Probably gonna wear my gloves too while I'm at it. We'll see. I'll just carry it with me. My nose is a little stuffy at the moment, so I'm gonna go get Kleenex. Usually in the morning my nose is pretty stuffy. Until I start clearing it. All right. Okay, Google, turn off light. Awesome. All right, cool. We're heading out. Have my umbrella with me. If it rains heavily, right. You only have two hands. Orion, you only have two hands. You don't have four hands. You have two hands. Slow down. Relax. I know you're excited. I'll tell myself, zip up my pants, wipe my mouth. All right. Cool. Okay. It's warm, but it's rain. You can hear the rain. I don't need to put my umbrella up right now. It's not that bad. But it's going to be raining practically all day. It's one of those one of those days where, yeah. Tomorrow should be cloudy, not raining, but so tomorrow I can do, well, we'll see. I'm not saying that I will do a full day stream or won't do a full day stream, but I will do as much as I can. Monday, I work with my clients until, well, it all depends. It all depends on how long each session is. I don't give them a set time, but I give them, like, there's a space in between for, like, an hour to two of buffer, just in case we have to go take that hour or two buffer. But I do make sure to take care of my time during that time. But like, I'm in my passion, so like I'm good. Like, I don't even feel drained at all. What's up, Eddie? Good to see you, dude. Just starting my walk to the trail. Feels like it's not winter, but I'm wearing like somewhat of like my winter outfit. I have my winter boots, only because if it rains, all my other shoes, my socks get soaked very quickly because they're not rain shoes. So this boot can keep my socks nice and dry. That's the worst feeling, when you're walking and your socks are just wet. Plenty of times I've walked out in the rain and my shoes, because they're running shoes, they don't absorb the water enough, like especially if it's raining a lot, and it just goes, like when I come back, my socks is completely like soaked. So here we are. I'm going to be talking about the layers just now of the mind and getting the body and the mind in equilibrium, balance. They're already in balance, but I'm just taking a moment to just, breathe, chill. All right, we get the cross. Next week is going to be very, very nice in terms of weather, so I'll be outside a lot, which is cool. Eddie, I trust you're doing good. I mean, if it's gonna sprinkle like this all day, I can live stream, but the thing is, it will be it's supposed to rain a lot, not heavily throughout the day, but it's supposed to rain a lot throughout the day. It's supposed to rain from like 8 a.m. to like 11 p.m. today here. So, which way did I go yesterday? I went that way yesterday. I'm gonna go this way today. I always do my best to change up my directions. So we're going to talk about the layers. We're going to talk about the layers, about the mind. There's a cat at the window over there. Just chilling. So, every one of us, and I mean this, every single human on the planet is a layer of itself. What do I mean by that? So, think of it, of every second you've been born and you've been on the planet. However many seconds that is, there's potentially many layers that got you to where you are right now. Now, of course, when you were born, you were at what I call the 0 point layer. What's the 0 point layer? The layer where you had no beliefs. Hey, good morning. How are you? I'm great. You? Oh, you're going to be fine. Have a great one. She's not feeling 100%. Seems like a trend today. Trooper's not feeling great. Sister over there ain't feeling great. So yeah, back to what I was saying. The 0 point layer. You have no beliefs. You still have no identity yet. You're just born. You're a blank slate, basically. For the mind level, not at the soul. The soul is ever so infinite. It already knows everything, but the soul can't do anything quite yet because the mind has to, start to form its ways of the world, right? Your mom and dad will start calling you a name, or whoever is taking care of you will start calling you a name. And that name then starts to form its own identity over time. As a baby, you kind of just are just doing whatever you're doing. And then there's a moment, right? You're starting to walk. Every one of us starts to at least get up and walk to some degree. The natural evolution of us. And then from there, you might see yourself in the mirror, potentially. You can see yourself before that, obviously. Especially if your mom or dad takes you to the mirror and you look. But normally, you start to look at the mirror and you're like, and you have this you're kind of stunned for a bit when you look yourself in the mirror for the first time. And it's that moment right there where you start to form a little bit of an identity of yourself. But you don't know quite yet because you don't have all the vocabulary in your mind yet. Your soul has all the vocabulary, but your mind doesn't, because the mind is basically a receiver of information. It's a receiver and a transmitter of information. But as a child, you're more receiving than transmitting. So I'm glad you guys are, chatting it up in the chat. It's good. I like that. So where am I going with this? Well, over time, you go to school, right? You enter school. You start meeting new people, new kids. Never met them before. And they have their own, layers as well. And then they create layers within you, and you create layers within them. Morning, brother.
How are you?
Excellent. You? Yeah, I'm really great, man. Have a great day.
Working this time?
Huh?
Working early?
Yeah.
Where? Here?
Right here. This is my work. I'm an entrepreneur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I help people around the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have a great day. Thank you. He was asking me am I going to work early? I'm like, well, I'm already technically doing my thing, but no clients today. But this is still part of my passion. This is sort of still part of my work. It's like an extension of my work, you can say. Oh, perfect. Okay, perfect. That's good, Felix. I'm glad you found it. See, told you. It's okay. Hey, look, listen. You're not feeling 100% anyways right now, so it's best that you get better, you feel better, because you don't want to start your first stream feeling sick, So you can say that it all is unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to. You had to get sick, you had to rest a little, you have to find the setting, and now you have to wait 24 hours because right now you're not at 100%. And that's fine. Let it be the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so reasonable human Bean. I like how you, all right, I haven't felt like myself for 10 years. So let me ask you, why don't you feel like yourself for the last 10 years? What's been going on? You don't have to go too personal, and I won't ask too many deep questions, but what's been causing you to not feel like yourself for 10 years? And I've been where you've been, so I want to know why you haven't felt like yourself for 10 years. Good morning, Gypsy. Good to see you. I trust you're doing great. It's another day. Today's a cloudy day and it's a rainy day. It's going to start to rain more later on. It's starting to drizzle a little bit here. That's a good question, Felix. That's a really good question everybody should ask. What does it feel like to feel like yourself? And this is where I was talking about the layers. This goes hand in hand with the layers I'm getting to. So I'll continue talking about the layers and I'll wait till the messages pop up. So as you're going through school, you're meeting other kids and you're forming layers with them and they're forming layers with you. But then something happens. Every one of us runs into something at school. Somebody calls you a weird name. Somebody does something to you physically. The teacher yells at you because you might be misbehaving. Even though misbehaving that's just, subjective. Right? You might be just talking loud and they tell you to quiet down. And that process of them telling you to quiet down puts you into a state of feeling like you're in trouble, and that's where all the things start. And it's funny because we're right by a school, and that's where all the conditioning begins. It's not anybody's fault, but it did happen. And then you go down what I call the bridge of incidents. And the bridge of incidents, you're walking through, and you start to lose a little bit of your true self, little by little. Little by little, you start to create more layers and layers. And guess what? Some of the layers are invisible and you can't see it, but they're there. And in order to find those invisible layers, it's going to require, in the beginning, an extraordinary and tremendous amount of effort to uncover those layers, to undo what has been done. Because what we're here to really do, everyone, is to unlearn and unbecome things that we thought was true of us. Now, I'm going to read the comment. So let's see. Worked harder and harder and got nowhere. Degree isn't worth anything. I just hate myself for making mistakes over. Sometimes it's what you do or don't do. I feel you, dude. I don't know if you're a brother or a sister, but I feel you. So I'm going to help you right now. You ready? This is for you specifically. Well, it can help anyone else in the chat, but this is for you specifically. So that feeling, worked hard. That's what I did. Worked in IT, made it to the top for years. Felt like I wasn't good enough. Worked hard, more harder to compensate for something that I felt like I was lacking. I'm not saying you're lacking anything because you're not. But what I had to start to do was start to forgive myself. Because everything that has happened in your life right now, reasonable, I'm going to call you that for now, was meant to happen so that it can help you to push forth and go to the next level. Because what you're going through right now, you're going to run into someone or a bunch of people that you might have to help, potentially, that is also going through what you're currently going through. Like, I didn't know back 10 years ago, because I'll use 10 years as well, that I was going to be on YouTube and helping people. That was far removed from my reality back then. Totally different experience, totally different mindset. I was more locked to my circumstances, which my circumstances back then was, life is hard. I hate the world. I'm making a lot of money, but I still feel like I'm broke because I didn't understand the concept of money properly. I still blame others, and sometimes, but most of the time I feel shame when I do, because I am the one hurting, not hurting them. Yeah, that shame feeling is going to be bringing you down. But here's the thing. There's been times in your life, right, that you felt good. We've all made choices. I've made some pretty interesting choices in my life. Sometimes it worked out for me, sometimes it didn't. Just give me a moment. I need to quickly... God damn. Should have done that earlier. I have to cover my USB-C port because, it's starting to rain a bit. I don't want to get it wet. Come on. Get off my thumb, damn it. All right, let me continue. There we go. The only reason why you feel shame is because the mind is creating a story. And the story is valid because you've been through it. We're not here to be ignorant to the story. The story is very real and very valid. It created emotional investment, and the emotional investment compounded over years, because you said 10 years. You haven't felt like yourself in 10 years. What I do with my clients is I get them to start to release some of that emotion by getting them into a relaxed state. But it's going to take a little bit of effort in the beginning, or a tremendous effort, depending on the situation at hand, to get relaxed and start to overwrite the experiences and see it in a positive way. So for example, let's say, you've worked so hard in the 10 years, right? The subconscious mind, which runs 95% of your basically your life, because that's 95%, you're attempting to change reality consciously with the 5% of the conscious mind. The conscious mind is basically when you're actively alert. You can see things, you can smell things, you're seeing what's going on in your current environment. But your 95% is like a song playing in the background that you don't know. And due to the fact that it's been playing in the background for years, right? You're going against a lot of emotion. Until you start to slow down, close your eyes. I'm not saying to meditate, you're not meditating, you're closing your eyes, and you're starting to go back to those tough experiences, and you start to overwrite those tough experiences and start to tell yourself a different story, and you start creating emotions that it was actually easy and fun. Now, the mind's not going to quite allow you to do that if your mind is still active. So when I say the subconscious mind is very programmable when you're relaxed. If you are tensed and stressed up, you will not be able to access the subconscious mind, because the conscious mind is going to be like, I want to go and eat. I want to do this. I have this itch to do. I have the itch to scratch. I don't want to sit here. What's for dinner? What's the point, right? Because you've given so much emotional charge with the conscious mind as well to keep seeing reality as what it is for you. So in order for things to change, you'll have to take some effort within in the beginning and start to overwrite the experience. I'm going to quickly go hang on the bar, even though it's raining. I'll go do that. It's not raining too badly. I have ADHD. I have 50 voices to listen to. Yes, and guess what? I also had, you can say I had like 10,000 voices in my head once upon a time. And I'm being very serious. I had 10,000 voices in my head, and I was like it was crazy. It's nuts. And I was like, it felt like pulling my brain out of my head. That's what it felt like. It's painful. But until I slowed down, and I mean this, you have to slow down. But the mind's not going to let you do that, right? Because the mind is currently convinced that it needs to keep doing and doing and doing, right? When's the last time you were being, right? Because you said 10 years. I'll get back to talking in a moment. In order for you to, I know you talked about ADHD, and I know a lot of people in the world talk about ADHD, and it is real. It's 100% real. But they also use ADHD as a cop-out. I'm not saying you're doing that, but they say, but my ADHD. Well, guess what? That's a story that the mind runs with. I once upon a time told myself I had ADHD as well. I don't have ADHD. There's nothing wrong with having ADHD, but the thing is, a lot of people subscribe to that narrative that they have ADHD, and then that narrative stays strong within themselves, and then they get stuck into a box. Again, it's the stories that the mind is telling you. I want to tell you something. You may not agree with what I'm about to say, but I will say it because that's what I came to the planet to do. You are not your stories. You have stories, but you are not the stories. Those stories were nothing more than experiences. But you get to change your life in every present moment. Now, I know your brain and your mind are not going to click with what I just said there. But I'm going to say it again. You have the power within yourself in every present moment to change your life. Right? And I'll tell you why you have the power. Because a lot of people right now believe that they are powerless. But we are so powerful beyond measure. And when I say power, I'm not talking from some sort of holier than thou, pretentious way. I'm talking from your personal power. You have the power to give attention to things and focus on things. And because of that, right, we start to, magnify and amplify and maintain that story. And here's the thing, because you said, I can feel the emotional charge behind when you say, I haven't felt like myself for 10 years. I can feel that. Like, I don't even need to physically be where you are, and I can feel the heaviness of your words. Because I know I've been there. Those who have experienced the things that others have experienced can understand where others are coming from. So in order for you to start to feel like yourself again, the stories are going to have to change. You're going to have to start to overwrite the stories. But you have to do it from a more relaxed state. If you attempt to will it with the conscious mind while you're in a tense state, it's going to feel fake, and you're going to be like, what's the point? There's no point. I can't change. My life sucks. It's not going to change. Nothing's going to happen. And so, essentially, you have the power to retell your story now. So, just a little backstory of my story. I once upon a time told myself, well, this character, I call myself a character now. This character told himself for over 20 years that he was the most fundamentally flawed human ever created in human history. He hated himself so much that he created a story of lack and limitation upon himself, and that people hated him, the world hated him, and he hated himself. And because of all that, it's because of his experience that he had growing up in school. These are the layers I was referring to. We start to internalize a lot of these things that others have said to us or have done to us. Or I can say have done for us and said for us, because you're actually the one who gets to keep the story alive or let the story go. Let them, I'm not paying attention to them. So Clone Trooper, just pay attention to what I'm saying. Forget them. Let them talk. It's not like they can do damage because their words mean nothing. If they're being disrespectful, I'm not even looking at the chat. I'm focusing on reasonable right now. That's it. Morning. Have a great day. Thank you. We're going to go this way today. So the story, right? You have the power, right, with your words in every present moment to speak whatever word you choose. So if you say that life's hard and it's been hard for the last 10 years, you have the power to say life is hard and that it's been like that for 10 years. So guess what? You also have the power to say life's easy and enjoyable, but your eyes have been conditioned to see things, see to believe. That's what 96% of the planet is struggling with right now. There's only 4% of people right now on the planet who understand how reality actually works. Whatever 4% is of 8 billion, that's the amount of people that understand how reality works. And I'm not here for them. Those people are living their best life. They're not struggling anymore. They were, a lot were, but they figured it out. That they had to turn inwards and forget what the world was showing them with their eyes. Now, does that mean that you're being ignorant to the outside world? No. But in order for your outer world to change, you have to start to focus on the inner world. Most people are attempting to change reality. What you're really doing is actually shifting within internally, and then the mirror, that is you, will start to operate differently. It'll start to show you a different reflection. So when you change the way you look at things, the very things you look at change. So the story that you've been sharing of 10 years has been very, very difficult. You get the power now in this very moment to say, okay, I had 10 years, it's been hard. What am I going to do now? Will I continue to internalize that it's going to be hard and difficult? And look, life's still going to be kind of challenging in the beginning, right? It's still going to take you a lot of effort to shift. But as you continuously focus internally on what you want to see in your reality, and I know the ADHD story is there too. And again, nothing wrong with ADHD, but a lot of people use that as some sort of like mental block on themselves. It's like I have ADHD, so then they use it as a block, not knowing the power of their words. So now you get to tell yourself, all right, 10 years, it's been hard. there's a breaking point. You want change. You're going to do whatever it takes to get that change now. But you got to do it within first. As within, so without. That's a Hermetic philosophy. For those of you who don't know, as within, so without, as above, so below. Now it's starting to rain. As within, so without. As within, so without. The mirror cannot smile back before you do. You go in front of a mirror. Does the mirror smile before you smile? No, you have to be the one that smiles. Reality is a mirror of your internal state. So what you're seeing out in your outer world is a reflection of what you feel and you think and you believe in your inner world. There's been many people who have come on this stream who have, they've see the life as it's great, it's awesome, they're living their best life. But then there's been others who come on and they are like, reality sucks, people are awful, I hate people, I hate my life, right? It's a mixed bag. And everyone is, wherever they are, is accurate because your story is very valid and real. There's nothing wrong with anyone's stories. Like if you've been hating the world for 20 years like I have, it's only because you forgot yourself, and that's fine. That's why I was talking about the layers. We started to form all these layers. Every one of you as a child, like a 2-year-old, you were whole, perfect, and complete, and guess what? You still are whole, perfect, and complete. You just took on a story from the world of wherever you are in the world, experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing. So now you have the power in every present moment to shift the story. The question is, will you allow yourself to start to shift? And I will mention this again. Even though I haven't said it today yet, but I will say it now, because every day there's always someone new on the live stream. You are not the mind, you have a mind. The mind is its own entity with you. There's a you that goes beyond your mind. And that version of you is like the child that was just expressive, playful, fun, wasn't thinking. We've been conditioned on the world to think. This is not just a thinking world, this is a feeling world too. Everything everybody does, whether they believe this to be true or not, is based on how you feel. You want to go out because you want to feel something. You want to travel because you want to feel something. You want to eat something because you're feeling hungry. You're not thinking hunger, you're feeling it. You're welcome. These words are your words. I'm just a mirror reflecting it back. This is for you, all of you, whoever wants to listen. Whoever doesn't want to listen, that's their choice. Your internal world will mirror out to the outer world. Many people have come on my streams since I started streaming on this channel, have said, wow, why is it so peaceful and so quiet? Why is it so calm? Why is the people so nice or kind in my area? It's because my internal world is at peace. I'm calm. And as I radiate that out, they also are radiating that out too. They're feeling it from me. So they're relaxed, they're calm. It starts with you. That's the answer. Everything you ever think, believe, feel, say, or do, or not do, always starts with you. You have to be the one to say the words, right? Or text the words, or write the words. It's you. You're the one that has to feel the feelings. It's you. You're the one that has to believe the thoughts or believe the beliefs that you have currently. It's you. It's always going to be you. There's no car coming right now, so I'm good. Everything that you feel has to start internally within you, right? Yesterday I was talking about what is hate. It's just a story of not being understood and someone like doing something to you, saying something to you, and a story that's been repeated over and over so much that it compounded and it became like an avalanche, right? Think of it like a little snowball. And then you roll that snowball down the hill, it starts to pick up momentum and starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually that snowball could potentially be turned into an avalanche. That's because we kept giving power to that story over and over and over. Because we've been so conditioned on the planet to look with our eyes. And yes, we have eyes to look with for sure. We have to. That's why we were given the eyes to see. For the majority of us who aren't blind. But you also have another set of eyes. That starts with your mind. But the mind is what's projecting to your eyes. Your eyes is just taking in, the current, the signal from only your mind. So your mind's the projector. Your eyes is the thing that's projecting outwards. So you can change the picture at any time, but it's by shifting your stories. If I was walking here 10 years ago, I can tell you that people would be like more hostile because I was very hostile. I'd be looking at people and be like, who the fuck are you looking at? That's what I would be doing. Because I'm always in a state of combativeness. Fight. But that's not the case anymore. Everywhere I go, of course, being logical for this thing, I don't expect to, when I go to like a place that has war right now, that it's going to be peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, little common sense has to be had here, people. But like wherever I go, where it's generally, where people say, but the area around me is not that great. Like, the people are not friendly. Like, there was a guy who came on a week ago and he says, I'm in Philly. And the people in Philly are very, closed off. Like, they're mean. I'm like, I've been to Philly and I had an amazing time in Philly. So I don't know about you. Oh, I'm not even, I'm paying attention to only things that are in alignment. I don't pay attention to things that are, that it has no relevancy right now. I came to learn when it came to my live streams and my previous stream that I took on other people's limitations and their perspectives, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Right? Most people don't want to hear the words that I'm saying, so they can drop their lines in the chat. I'm not going to read it unless I choose to. Clone Trooper, share. What is a phrase that you absolutely despise? Also, when I'm in a flow, I don't pay attention to the chat. And I'm glad that I'm using a different streaming app, because the chat, I've made it so small that I have to actually pay attention and not be distracted. But right now, I took a moment to just pause to see what's going on in the chat. But I'm going to continue to talk. So, for me, I don't know if it's reasonable if you're still here. Maybe you left, maybe you're still here. I have no idea. I can't tell. YouTube doesn't have that feature to say, this person has entered the chat, this person has left the chat. So, whether you're here or you're not here, this is for you or for anyone else. In order for your life to change, you're going to have to start to find a way to want the change by changing the story within. Because basically the story is what the mind is creating. The mind is full of stories. All of you have stories for days. The weak link in the chain, I hate it. What if I told you, Felix, to not hate that saying and to just don't entertain it? Because hate is creating a feeling within yourself when you hear someone say it, right? That saying that's just a limitation right there. Because there are no weak links in any chain. That's only because people have decided that there's a weak link. That's a bar, write it down. You know how I operate. I will dismantle all sayings and break it apart if I have to. I don't regurgitate the same shit like everyone else is saying and just read from a book. I dismantle shit so I can see the power of each of those words. So instead of saying I hate that saying, just say I just simply don't entertain it because it's irrelevant. There is no weak link in the chain. It's just that the chain itself has forgotten itself. That's a bar, write it down. So in order for all of you who is feeling this sense of I'm not good enough, life's hard, I have ADHD, I have some sort of lack or limitation, well, you're going to be right until you start changing the story. And then guess what? You're also going to be right once you change the story. That's another bar. You keep saying that I have this or I can't do this and life's hard, then you're right. You all have the power. You're all given the power to do amazing things in this world. Every single one of you. You're all extraordinary. You all have been extraordinary the moment you came to the earth. Why do you think the universe created you, whether you believe in a God or not a God? You think you're some accident? I know a lot of people think that they're accidents, but you're not. I can promise you that, because I thought of that myself. You're not no accident. If you were, you wouldn't be here. The universe doesn't make any mistakes. Even though you can say that you're a mistake. But if you say you're a mistake, then the universe is just going to be like, okay. And will continue to punish you for your words. Because if you continue to say that, I'm not good enough, well, then the universe is like, okay, you're so powerful that you make yourself so powerless. I say that every day. You're so powerful that you make yourself powerless. Why? Because you've been trained to be super humble. There's nothing wrong with being humble, but know when to use being humble, and know when to start showing up for yourself. Stop dimming your lights. You're supposed to be a being of extraordinary light. Nothing wrong with the darkness, just so you know. Darkness does not mean evil. It just means absence of light. You are both shadow and light. You have a shadow side. Honor it. You can call it the dark side, but that doesn't mean evil. It's just the opposite side of light. Without light, you won't have the darkness. Without darkness, you won't have light. You can't have one without the other. Except for in the other realms, but our eyes and our mind are not capable of such concepts to fully grasp and understand. But there's so much that's on the other side of different dimensions, not to get too deep into that our minds are not designed to fully understand. Hello, little one. I need to put you on the grass. Go ahead. There you go. It's not raining too badly right now, but it's drizzling right now. So I'll be by the water and I'll speak for a little bit at the water. The mirror won't smile back before you do. When you start to see reality as a mirror, this is the simplest way to explain what reality looks like. What you're seeing on your outside world is all a reflection of what you're feeling and thinking and being in your inner world. Now, here's the thing. If you're like, I want to be a billionaire, but your subconscious mind doesn't know what that feels like, you won't be the billionaire until you start to feel what that feels like. And that was one of the questions that always puzzled me. Well, how do I feel a feeling that I've never felt before? Right? How do I experience something I've never experienced before? That question puzzled me for years, and I figured it out. Accept that it just is right now, that whatever feeling that you want, you already have it within. You may not have experienced it just physically yet, but you can experience it. We tend to overcomplicate things with the mind. That's what the mind does. It strives on complexity. Everybody's mind strives on complexity because it was designed to be that way for one particular reason: self-mastery, to see the earth actually as just is, simplicity. But because so many people have made so many different stories, and the stories have overlapped and created other layers and more layers and lots of layers, and layers upon invisible layers and more layers and more layers, and guess what? More layers and invisible layers. Feels like a lot of work. And in the beginning, it is going to take a tremendous amount of effort to shift and change for those who have spent a lot more time on the earth than others. But once you sit with yourself and get back to the root of where all the problems start to lie, for me, mine started with not trusting the world and the unknown. The mind fears the unknown, it fears uncertainty, so it creates a story to keep you safe and protected at all times. That's its job. It doesn't want your host body to die because your mind is always looking for threats and filtering out, that's a threat, nope, that's not a threat, I'll accept that, but that's a threat, even though some of the threats are actually what you're supposed to have, such as abundance, love, ease, and flow. Because the mind doesn't understand what ease and flow is presently because it forgot itself over time. Ooh, I wonder if they're doing anything here since they were digging this up. They probably are. Haven't had to really bust out the umbrella yet, but might soon enough. So we're heading down into the trail, getting that nature walk. If I wasn't streaming, I'd still be doing what I'm doing, so I figured I'd just stream at least the walk today. For the rest of the day, I'll figure out what I'll be doing. Don't know if I'll be streaming or not. We'll see. Don't really want to stream indoors. Man, they really put that playground out quickly. It was nice. They're probably building a little pathway to the playground there and whatever else out there. I like it. It's good. The kiddos are going to love it. They're going to enjoy it. Anyways, to continue to what I was saying, each of you who is there presently, in order for reality to shift, it's going to require a little bit of effort on your part to start to shift your stories if you want. Because at the end of the day, you were given free will to choose. Some of you feel like, I don't have a choice though. I have bills to pay. I have this to do. Yeah, we all have bills to pay to some degree. But you still have the choice to either show up being happy or being angry. That's your choice. And both words are 5 letters. You can either be happy or you can be angry. But Orion, I don't know how to be happy because the world's full of negative people. How can I be happy when there's negative people? Well, when you start to change, other people will start to change because you are starting to be happy. And they will start to feel it. Morning. Have a great day. Thank you. Just like that, you see? Just simply, even just saying good morning to someone. You never know, by just saying good morning, you could change someone's life. Because I've walked by many people and just that one greeting alone made a positive impact in their life. Because a lot of people are like, how can you be so, how is it so easy for you, Orion, to talk to strangers? Well, because I don't see anybody as a stranger. It's just that simple. I don't care where any of you are in the world. You can hate my guts. You can call me all kinds of words. I don't see you as a stranger. I don't see you as like, I can connect with any of you at any level if I really wanted to. Because for me, it's easy to connect with people. You know why? Because I know that all this is just a grand symphony where we're all connecting. We came to the earth to explore this wonderment together. Doesn't mean we're not going to run into some obstacles with each other. That can and does happen. But it's all about knowing how to navigate. We're going to be by the water. Clone Trooper, Felix, you there? Just making sure all's good. Sometimes the stream gets stuck. That's why I require a second device just to keep an eye on my own stream to make sure it's all good, hunky-dory. All right, we're going to be by the water shortly. So, to Reasonable or anyone else who heard the words today, I trust that going forward now, you start to shift your mirrors within so that you can have your experiences that you want. That's fascinating. That's a paradoxical question, but I just removed the curly hair. I'm going to be by the water. I'm going to continue to talk about the layers that the mind keeps creating. Oh, and there's the layer called distractions. Lots of distractions. This is a big one. This one might trigger the fuck out of some of you. But I do and I say what needs to be said. So the layer of distraction, aka social media, watching content that is designed to just keep your mind like not, how do I even say this? It's just filling your mind with just complete and utter nonsense and trash that has no relevancy to bringing your life any more joy and wants to just continuously keep you sucked into their reality because they themselves haven't figured it out. Hey, look at this. Somebody decided to paint my rocks, or paint some rocks. How awesome is that? Look at that. This is for all of you. Us. Thank you. See that? This was never here before. It's for some of you. That's cool. I like that. I wish they painted that rock over there, but hey, I'll take it. I like it. This wasn't here yesterday. They started to paint over there, but I hope that one stays the way it is. I like it. They painted some other stuff here too. It's a bird. There's a duck on that one. I like it. Cool. That's what my internal world is. No separation. All right, so it's raining right now. So I'm going to leave you by the water here. It's not raining heavily, thankfully, but it is raining enough for it to, warrant to be mindful of time out here. Enjoy the water while I talk. This also gives me an opportunity to put on my gloves because my hands are getting a little cold. Oh, slipped on one of my rocks there. All good. All right. We're just going to spend a few minutes at the water here. You have the power in every present moment to uncover all the layers that are holding you hostage, but some of you are not even aware that there are even layers. Like the awareness is not there. And awareness is the first step in transformation. So how do you become aware of something you're not aware of? Well, either something's going to have to happen for you to start to want that change within yourself, or someone like myself will come and remind you about it and then plant a seed, and then maybe several years later you'll start to hear more about what I'm talking about right now, when your soul allows your mind to finally, or when your mind finally has said enough is enough and wants that change. So when someone really wants change, if it comes down to, are they comfortable? Are they loving what they love right now? And if they're comfortable with what they love right now, then they're not going to change. They're good, and nothing wrong with that. Would you sleep at water surface? It depends. That all depends on how I feel. Anyways, let me continue to what I was saying and sharing. So you have the power in every present moment to ask yourself questions. And I'm bringing this into awareness, into your mind right now. Your mind may not be interested in anything I'm saying right now, and that's fine. But down the road, your mind will be interested, because depending on what age you're at in terms of the level of experience you've been on the planet, some of you are just interested in like iShow Speed and those kinds of guys talking about all kinds of like weird shit, and that's fine, right? There's a bunch of Gen Zs and Gen Alphas on the channel that don't care about what I'm saying, and that's perfectly fine. But then there's others who actually care because they want something better for themselves, and I'm only here to help those presently right now. The rest of you who are just not here to hear what I have to say, it's okay. Do whatever and say whatever in the chat. We're good. So let me get back to what I was saying. In every present moment, you have the power to ask yourself some pretty powerful questions. Am I happy with my life? What do I really want out of this world? Is it meant for me? Well, just so you know, anything that you can think of and you had a thought of, it was for you already. Because once you think about it in the mental realm, it's created in the mental realm, waiting for you to bring it into the physical realm, the earth, by taking actions that get you into alignment to bring forth and alchemize it into the physical form. This very water that you all are seeing right now, I've walked here in the summer or the spring, right now, the summer, the fall, and the winter. In the winter time, I was able to cross across this water because it turned to ice. Think of reality as frozen imagination, like what you're seeing with your eyes. And water is a great mirror in terms of it can be turned to steam, it can be turned to ice, but water is neutral. When it's very, very hot, this water will evaporate and turn into steam. When it's very, very cold, it'll turn to ice. And you can think of the mental realm as steam and the physical realm as ice. And the spiritual being just neutral, like the water. So if you think about something, you can't see it with your eyes yet. And yes, you can still technically, you can see steam if you're looking at it, but you can't really hold it. You can feel steam with your hands, and that's the process of feeling something with your mind, but you can't grab it with your hand because the steam is going to go right through your hand. It's going to make condensation, but when steam hits your hand, it leaves a little bit of condensation on your hand. All right? So if you think of something and you really feel it, you have to just stay in that vibrational resonance for you to bring it forth in the physical. But that's a layer that you're going to have to realize that you can do. I really liked the fact that they painted that, whoever painted it yesterday, because it wasn't here yesterday, so they definitely painted it at some point in their afternoon. I like that. They probably left it for me just to see it as a reminder. Anyways, you have the power in every present moment to ask yourselves all kinds of questions. Powerful questions. When you ask yourself a very powerful question, and any question can be powerful, it all comes down to perspective and it's subjective. You can expect a powerful answer. Like, for example, why do I believe the things I believed in about my life right now? Why do I believe that I'm not meant to be rich or meant to be in love? Or why do I believe that I'm only meant to have this and that's all? Again, not everyone wants to be rich, and that's not everyone's aim, but they want to be fulfilled. Everybody in this world wants to have some sort of fulfillment. They want to either leave a mark on the planet or at least, do something that's meaningful. And meaning actually has no one definition, so that means whatever it is that you want to do has meaning. Whether you want to draw, paint, being, a chef, a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician, a doctor, an astronaut, a speaker like myself, an energetic practitioner like myself, a sports star, a gamer. Lots of people making lots of money in gaming now. I remember the time back 20 years ago when people were saying, you'll never make money playing video games, and look at how many people make money playing their video games. Tons of streamers making tons of money. There's people making more money than people working a 9-to-5 corporate job. So, how did they do it? And some of you are going to say, well, they have a certain look. If you're a girl and they're pretty, of course guys are going to like them up and fiend on them, right? That's I'm not going to deny that. But then there's plenty of guys who are very entertaining who also make lots of money too. You know what it just comes down to? Their confidence in themselves. But they had to undo a bunch of layers potentially and just say, fuck it, I'm going to just do this thing and do it. And they did do it. I'm just taking a moment to just enjoy the sound of the rain hitting the water and the water just flowing. Tomorrow will be cloudy. It might rain as well, so I might do a short stream again. We still have the rest of the walk. Morning. We have the rest of the walk to talk about the layers, but I'm glad that some of the things I've shared this morning already helped a few of you, and that is enough. That was more than enough. Even if I impact one person today, and they go and impact hundreds of thousands of people at some point down the road, I did my job. Or millions, or hell, even billions. How much battery do I have left on the phone? 55%? Okay. I just want you all to know that you all are just capable of so much amazing things. You really are. Your untapped potential, limitless untapped potential, which means you could do anything, really. How do the ones that are doing what they're doing? It's simple, because they have confidence in themselves. And they said, screw everything else. They locked in and they were able to bring it forth, because they also had to undo their layers that was created. Some of them never had any layers, and they were able to just have full confidence at all time. That's why they were able to just bring forth everything. Others had to go through an extreme amount of layers. And when I say layers, that means experiences, trauma, difficulty, stress, struggle, suffering, those kinds of layers, to understand the inner workings of how everything works. Top of the morning to you, Bruce. Good to see you, dude. I will, bro. Thank you so much. And you as well. I love your energy, dude. It's amazing. I definitely will. Be it rain or sun, it'll always be an amazing day. Be it minus 40 degrees Celsius or plus 40 degrees, it'll be an amazing day, because I get to choose how I feel. Even if shit's happening, I still get to choose how I feel. That's a bar. Write that down. We all get to choose in every present moment what we want. Major events in the world will be combined for a long time, and they will be divided for a long time. Right. And guess what? You can subscribe to continue to divide, because that's what the world wants. The world, society, it's only a few individuals in the world, and they themselves, they are just you can call them the proctors of the exam. They are finessing 98% of the planet right now. I should say 96, because there's 4% of the planet that actually knows what's going on, what's up. But they want you to continuously be divided so they can conquer you. You know the old expression, divide and conquer. United, you're stronger. We're supposed to be united. Doesn't matter what country. This is planet Earth. If every human left the Earth for a moment, like they went to space, they would have a different perspective about the Earth. They'll come back being like, damn, we really are one. We forget that the lines on the map don't exist. We created those lines and borders. Respect the countries, of course, and respect the cultures. That's what gives us our individuality, right? The uniqueness, the contrast, the differences, the experiences. But we're not separate beings in terms of like it's us versus them. But the world wants you to continue to believe that, and that's another layer. That's a big layer, in fact. Share, what did you think about, bro? We're going to be leaving the water shortly, only because like the rain's starting to pick up a smidge here, and you know. I really like that painting over there, but I'm attempting to figure out what the hell. They did do another painting that says something versus something. It looks like alien versus alien or something. I don't know. Whoever drew that, they did a good job, but I don't know what that means. I'm going to show it on the camera momentarily. So when I was 5, I was pointed at someone with the middle finger, and I didn't know about it and what people said. And you're doing the rude finger. And I said I don't believe in the rude finger, and they said no. Right. So you remember what I was talking about the meanings behind things? This would be one of those meanings. There are people in the world that don't even know what the middle finger is. Like, I mean, they have a middle finger, but they don't know the meaning behind the middle finger, right? So they haven't internalized that meaning. Speaking of which, we're just going to quickly go back here for a moment. I want to figure out what the hell they drew here. So they drew that versus that, but then they drew that, which is us. I prefer that one, obviously. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's aliens or they look like aliens. Anyways, yes, back to you, Clone Trooper. You were thinking about all these things before you even met me. Is it any surprise that you ran into me and we're talking about this now? No accidents. Tell me, yeah, share with me, what is this actually? Because you probably know, I don't know, what is it? What does that mean? Or what is that? Help my mind to understand what this is, because they look like aliens to me, which is cool, but I don't think they are. Unless you are talking about something else. Like you say, oh my God, I know what all that is. But yeah, that is us, all of us. I mean, we can be blue or green or purple or yellow or whatever. The us is Rainbow Friends, which is a game, and the orange one is Stinger Flynn. And what is Stinger Flynn? Is that a show? Is that like a game? A TV show? Is that a movie? Stinger Flynn. Okay. I have no idea what Stinger Flynn is, to be honest, but... Ah, okay. Got it. Interesting. This is by the water, and this wasn't here yesterday. So you see somebody... Interesting. And you know what's funny? Because you talked about octopus yesterday. And look, is there an accident that there's an octopus here? Because you talked about the 8 billion tentacles holding a controller. And of course, they couldn't draw 8 billion tentacles with their painting. You see? Is that an accident? Nothing happens by accident, y'all. It all happens exactly as you choose for it to be. That's why I kept saying, it's just us. It just is. This wasn't here yesterday. Yes, this is what we call manifestation at its finest. This wasn't here yesterday. It's here right now. Hell, maybe tomorrow when we come, this might not be here because all the rain will wash it off, or somebody might take it or paint over it. Who knows? But I do know that this had to be shown today for a reason. For some of you to know that this is manifestation. Again, remember I said yesterday when I was talking with Tom, or sharing about Tom's story, and then Tom showed up, and I was sharing with him about his story to the audience, and then he was sharing it with you all. Well, he was talking with me, and you all heard him. That was instant manifestation right there. All right, we're at 48% of battery. Got to roll. Thank you, water. I appreciate it. Ooh, morning. Even though it's raining, there are people running, and they're doing their thing. I will pick up the pace a little bit. Okay, now I think I'm gonna pull out the... It's not raining heavily though, so I'm not gonna pull out my umbrella right now. Screw it. Unless the universe is like, yeah, I had you bring your umbrella, you're not using it, I'm gonna rain even harder. Because that does happen. So let's continue talking about the layers. So the mind creates a lot of layers. And once upon a time when I felt stuck, trapped, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of my own trap that I ensnared myself in, because that's what we're doing, y'all. All of us are trapping ourselves within our own traps, not knowing that it's us trapping ourselves, because we trap ourselves when someone says something awful about us, and then we internalize it and emotionalize it to a point where we start to hold on to it. And we're like, this is a bar, by the way. So, Felix, you're going to like this one, because I haven't said this one yet. It's like holding a coal in your hand, and you refuse to let it go. And you're burning yourself every time. That's what, when you ever are, facing some sort of, trouble in your life, that's basically what that is. Hey, Scott, good to see you, bro. Whenever I see you, I don't get a chance to say hello to you, so I get to say hello to you now, because whenever I'm in my flow, you jump on. But good to see you, dude. I trust all is amazing with you, bro. It's raining today. I won't be streaming all day because I don't want to be streaming inside. But I definitely wanted to at least stream a little bit while I'm taking my walk outdoors. Morning, sister. Have a great day. Thank you. All awesome. Glad to hear. So let me get back to the layers of the mind for a moment. So the mind and the stories, these are layers, and the beliefs and all that we carry. It's like holding a coal in your hand and you refuse to let go of it. You're burning yourself, but you refuse to let go of it. Or another way of saying this is like you are sucking in energetic poison, not knowing that you're poisoning yourself every time, and then you wonder why something happens in your life. Such as like you start to feel not at ease, and then you start to create disease. That's how all diseases come into existence to some degree, from those who are, healthy, and then they, shit happens because at some point there's some sort of stress or anger or frustration or madness or insanity or depression. Like when you listen to these words, depress, you're depressing yourself. Depressing. You're not you're compressing and depressing when you're supposed to be expanding. So the layers that the mind creates via the stories that we keep internalizing over and over is like the hot coal metaphor, where you're holding a piece of hot coal, you get off the barbecue, and you refuse to let go of it, and you're burning yourself every present moment with said word that somebody said, right? The thing is, the subconscious mind doesn't adhere to time. It doesn't use logic, and it doesn't adhere to time. It uses emotion. And you can go back to any moment in your current experiences, and you can relive it as if you were there right now. So let's say you had a very painful experience with an individual or a situation. Your body can feel it right now. You just transcended time and space. Congratulations, you time traveled. Every one of us can time travel. And this is what I was sharing earlier with, there's a person who jumped on, I don't know if they're there, named Reasonable. You can time travel back 10 years, where Reasonable was saying how they haven't been feeling like themselves for the last 10 years. Because it's very painful for what they've been experiencing. Very valid, very real. All your experiences are very real. I want you all to know that. My disease in my mind, I have psychosis. I think I told you that already. It's hard to ignore it. I know, and that's the story of the mind, right? Because the mind wants... How am I going to say this? All right, I know I'm going to say this. The mind wants you to believe that you have psychosis, so it created a story of psychosis. But you are beyond the mind. You have a mind, but in order to go beyond the mind, you have to kind of use the mind not against itself, but above itself. And how does one do that? You have to sort of feel things. And you'll know how to do it. It's actually built within you to know how to do this, because I didn't know how to do this and I figured it out. It wasn't some thinking, it was a feeling that I had to get to and remember. But it was like using other stories, like, wait a minute, as a child, I wasn't like this. So I picked it up somewhere in adulthood, or I picked it up somewhere where something happened in my experience and I had to trace it back. Basically, you're doing a lot of detective work. Hello, Stacy. I love that name. Stacy likes to learn. That's awesome. It's a good name. I like that name. There's 2 ducks here. A male and a female duck. Hello, Bubbas. Don't worry, you're good. They were being funny there. I don't feel like streaming inside today, so once I get back, I'll probably call it a wrap for the day, or I'll turn on a stream later on if I'm playing a game or something. Since now I can stream multiple streams. Practice love and authenticity, y'all. especially authenticity. That's the one that many are not doing right now. Authenticity. And I'm talking about real authenticity, not some fake authenticity. Because there's actually fake authenticity, which sounds like an oxymoron. So back to you, Scott, for a moment. So that story, it's real. We're not discrediting the story, right? We acknowledge the story. But guess what? It's a story, because when you were younger, you didn't have psychosis. The mind just created a narrative. But guess what? You can rewrite that narrative. But it'll take some effort in the beginnings. It might take tremendous amount of effort, because I was talking about this earlier, where we've internalized it so much that it became from like a little snowball into like a giant boulder or an avalanche. And that basically is the power of compound effect. I can tell you right now that eventually, bro, you'll be off those medications. You know why? I feel it. You won't no longer need those medications, and you will be back to the Scott that you were supposed to be. But you are perfectly normal right now too. And just know that the mind might create a narrative like, we're not good enough or something like that. You're perfect as you are. You just went through an experience. Nothing more. All stories are valid. All stories are real. But now you get to alter the story and flip it. And when I'm working with the clients on Mondays, we generally get into I tell them to get into a meditative state outside of our chat, because that can take some time for them to get into a relaxed state. And for them to just imagine the experience that they experienced, but change the story a little bit. So like, for example, I'll just make one up quickly, because I can't really talk too much about the clients and stuff. But essentially, let's say they had a problem with a partner, or a problem with a parent. And this experience with their parent was very difficult. Extremely difficult. Then I have them go back to that moment when it was extremely difficult and rewrite the story. Instead of them like hurting and being yelled at or screamed at by their parents, that their parents started to, speak to them and understand them and gave them like a hug and said that they loved them. Something like that, something very simple. But the conscious mind has to get out of the way for that. The conscious mind has to be out of the way, because the conscious mind is also what's kind of keeping the story active. The subconscious mind, which runs 95% of your reality, basically, what you're seeing or experiencing, the only way to really access the subconscious mind is when you're starting to relax. That's the power of using theta, the theta or alpha. Those are the brainwave states. And how do you get into theta and alpha? Well, you can just sit and relax. You can close your eyes, or you can just, you start to chill. And guess what? Every one of you get into theta or alpha throughout your day. You know how I can tell you? Whenever you're on YouTube you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, it starts to throw you into theta to some degree. You start to get a little bit more relaxed, and then you look at the time, you're like, wait a minute, an hour passed by. So that right there, whenever you're taking in any type of content, is where the mind is very suggestible and programmable, whether positive or negative. So meditation can help, but I wouldn't tell anybody to go and meditate unless they enjoy meditation. So meditation can help. It doesn't mean you have to light candles and do all kinds of like chanting or anything like that. You can just sit and just chill. I call that the
the easy meditation, just to just sit and just relax. You just sit upright and you just chill. You don't think about anything. You let just things be for a moment. The mind's gonna do things like, hey, I should eat something. Yeah, it's raining today. I won't be streaming all day today. I'm gonna be inside, do my jump rope, because I don't really feel called to stream indoors. I want to stream outdoors. It's just raining. I might stand outside for a little bit when I get back, but more than likely I'll stream maybe later on, play a video game or something, but today I'll just chill. But yeah, it's raining right now. Good to see you, Rihanna. Is it true that Crystal is a popular girl's name in Canada? I don't know. We have a sister on here whose name is Crystal, and she is in Canada, but I don't know if that's true, because I only know I've run into many Crystals, but I wouldn't say that that's a popular name. I would think a more popular name would be Sarah. Lots of people here are named Sarah. Tons of people I know a lot of Sarahs. I know more Sarahs than Crystals. I can tell you that. Do people in Canada talk French? Not everybody. I only know oui, bonjour, ça va. That's it. I forgot all my French to some degree because I haven't used it in years. But, you know, I can't say all my French because I just said oui, bonjour, ça va. That counts as French. But, like, to understand what someone else is saying, no. If they're speaking a whole sentence in French, maybe they'll say, je m'appelle Orion or something. Like, that's just, my name is Orion. Right? I know how to count in French, but not everybody knows French here. In Montreal or Quebec, which is the province over from the province of Toronto, or of Ontario, where Toronto is located, 90% of people there speak French. They've got that French. And where Scott is on the other side of Canada. He's in the west. More people there speak more English than French. There's a couple people that probably speak French over where he's at, but it's definitely English. But in the east side of Canada, there would be a little bit more French than the west. You too. Enjoy it. If you see me on again, it'll just be another stream. I'll just name it something else, playing a video game or something. We'll see. Tomorrow I'll be back though. Like I said, I don't know if I'll go in and just say fuck it, I'll just stream all day, but more than likely I'll be just, you know, chilling today. We'll see. So to get back to what I was saying about those layers that the mind creates, right? Back to you, Scott. Meditation can help. It can help. I'm not saying it will help, but whatever brings you relaxation, do that if you can. And when I say relax, I mean like your mind gets out of the way, but this is the opportunity to start to work on shifting the story. Like you can actually, you know, when we're all watching like a movie or a TV show or something, we are all in relaxation to some degree, right? That's where you're getting influenced by like the movie, and you start to feel things more. Right. And you know, when you're about to take naps, the moment where you start to drift to sleep, that's where you can also start to tackle the story of like psychosis. You can start to tell yourself, I know that right now the mind's telling me I have psychosis. And that's fine, but I know once upon a time I didn't have psychosis. And as you start to kind of wire that in, the story will start to land. Think of it like, you know how with a computer, right? We're going to use a computer analogy for now. You have a piece of software that's in your operating system, because your operating system is the subconscious mind, but then the subconscious mind has all these other programs like Microsoft Word, or Google Chrome and all that stuff, or Brave browser, or Photoshop, those kind of stuff. It's the same thing. You just have the program of psychosis there, and all that needs to do is to uninstall it and reinstall the program of the opposite of psychosis, which is, I guess, stability, whatever that looks like. But in order to uninstall that program, it's going to require a little bit of time, and it's going to be well worth it, because when you do it, it will magnify your life 1,000x fold, because you'll just start living a better quality of life, and you'll simply drop the story. It's like carrying a 1,000-pound backpack, or I like to say 1,000,000-ton backpack, because that's what a lot of us are doing. We're carrying like 1,000,000-ton backpack, and we're not dropping it, and we're weighing ourselves down. Like, we're leaning forward, and we're like walking, and we're stumbling over shit because we have no stability, no balance, until we kind of like drop it, let it go. The mind is dude, when I tell you how powerful your mind really is, man, like, it is fucking powerful beyond measure. Like, you can literally almost create anything you can think of. Now, of course, while we're on Earth, there's certain things that we have to abide to by, like the laws of gravity to some degree. Like, of course, we've broken the law of gravity by using airplanes and stuff like that, and levitation devices. But I mean to say, like, there's still some things that we still have to adhere to, but the mind can conjure up anything. That's an interesting thought, but okay. See, like that, this comment that was left there. See, the mind can think of all kinds of weird and interesting things, right? It all comes down to perspective, of course. The mind is it's like, think of it like Play-Doh. You can always mold Play-Doh, but then once you don't mold it, it starts to get like rock solid, and it doesn't shift until you start to, mold it again. Or another way you can say the mind is malleable. It's always ever shifting. Because remember, as I said, you have the power to influence your experience by shifting the story within, by, shifting the mirror and the reflection, what you're seeing. It's hard at times when you keep saying it's hard, because then you tell the story that it's hard. And then there's this story where, how do you feel something, but it doesn't feel real yet, and it might feel like a lie or a fraud, right? Because that was a feeling I had. I had to be it before it happened. For example, I wanted to be, a coach. Well, not really a coach, but that's the word that people use. I had to be a coach and not pretend, but know that I had clients, and now I have clients. They just showed up. It didn't just happen overnight, but they showed up eventually. I had to know that I already have what it is that I have, and walk as it is done, and know, not believe, but actually know. There's a difference between believing and knowing. Knowing is just there's no doubt. Believing has doubt. Belief has not enough energetic force behind it. I'm gonna hang here for a moment. I figured, why not? No doubt. Well, I'm not entertaining your other messages, but yes, no doubts whatsoever. Because I used to doubt all the time because I didn't have strong enough conviction, which is knowing that I can bring forth whatever I want. I'm going to hang for a moment. It's raining, but yet I still didn't open up the umbrella because it's not raining that hard for me to have to pull out the umbrella yet. This is very good for loosening up all your joints. This allows energy to flow through your body. Let's go. So back to Scott. Yeah, man. You'll get over that soon enough. Just trust and know. That word trust is very interesting because that word used to also get to me. Because I didn't trust like the unknown. I didn't trust myself that I could be capable of making lots of money, helping people around the world, make positive impact in their own lives and the lives around, the other lives around them. Right now, the clients who I have, they started to, they've shared. Some of them have shared that they started to share some of the things that I've shared with them. Lots of sharing words right there. With their people around them, and they started to see the difference in their people's lives. I'm like, good, as it's supposed to. That's how you make a ripple, right? You speak life into someone, and then you never know, that one person you speak life into, they speak life into thousands. And those thousands will then potentially speak life into thousands. That's how the world is right now, both positive or negative, right? That's how things get spread. You never know. Like I also mentioned, I think 2 or 3 days ago, when I walk and I see people and I start sharing what I'm sharing, I'll start to speak a little bit louder. Not for attention, but for them to hear. And there was a woman who was heading to work one day on the bus, and I was walking by the bus stop, and I said whatever I said. Of course, I didn't know what she actually heard, but then she came up to me a couple days later and she saw me again. I didn't even know she was there, to be quite honest, because I was just focusing on what I was saying. And she said, I want to just say thank you for, sharing what you were sharing while you were talking on. She didn't know if I was live streaming. She had no idea what I was doing. She thought I was just making a video. But she's like, thank you for sharing what you shared. It really made an influence in my life, and I really appreciate the impact that you said, that we have the power in every present moment to change our, state of being. That's what she was saying. I'm like, you're welcome. That was you speaking it to yourself, but you're welcome. I do that because you never know. You never know what you say to someone, and it'll alter the trajectory of someone's life. Exactly. It's either positive or negative. That's how it works. Why are certain people so positive in the world? Right? Why are certain people so negative in the world? Because they internalize something. Some gave up on themselves presently, like I did. I've given up. Well, to some degree, I never gave up. I always had the will of fire to keep going. But I wanted to throw in the towel many, many times. But my soul's like, you're not a quitter. You don't quit. That's not who you are, Orion. You're better than that. So that willed me on to keep going. Even though when shit was hitting the fan, like there have been times where I only had $2 in my bank account. Look, listen carefully. I went all in on myself. I invested heavily on myself. Hundreds of thousands of dollars into coaching and getting certified in certain like healing practices and doing all kinds of healing modalities. And I wasn't generating any income whatsoever. Nothing. And there was a point where I only had like $2 in my bank account. I'm like, what the fuck? Universe? This is bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. I know that I'm supposed to have what I'm supposed to have. But the thing is, I was getting too tripped up with the physical. And then I says, you know what? Fuck it. You want me to have the resources? Fine. You don't want me to have the resources? Fine. Whatever. You want me to help people? I'll do it. But I'll do it from a state of joy. Not because I needed it. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. If you want to take me off this earth, take me off the earth. I don't care. You put me here. You wanted me to do all this. This is your doing. So either help me or don't. But either way, I'm just going to operate. So this is how I started to break free of the mind slowly by allowing myself to just keep going through the unknown. 17 months live streaming on that other channel. Well, let's see. 12 months of the 17 months was basically very, very quiet. So I basically had a whole year of live streaming where there was like 1 or 2 people at a time on my stream. And those people, like they were with me from the beginning of my other, at the beginning of that stream. So, and I wouldn't let you quit either too, dude. You're better than that. You're so much more stronger than you realize, dude. That's why I see it in everybody. Even when some are like, you know, saying the things they're saying, and I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's what they want to believe, but that's the thing, that's how powerful they are. You know? But the universe, like, I always felt like I had this belief where, that the universe was always against me, you know? Like, I always fucking thought that the universe wanted me to, like, energetically slapping me and punching me in the gut and, like, kicking me in my face. That's what it felt like every time throughout this experience. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm attempting to be a better person and you keep doing this? This is bullshit. Not realizing it was actually me doing it to myself because I didn't understand the principles of reality and how it worked. So it always felt like, you know, God was just like toying with me and putting me through all kinds of bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Not realizing in the end, it was actually just myself doing it to myself. Pretty nuts. All right. I walked this entire tee without the umbrella. Now I'm going to just open up the umbrella. My intuition is like saying, open the umbrella. You brought it for a reason. But that's what it always felt like. That belief that God was always, or the universe or whatever I believed in at the time, was always taking a massive dump and like was taking it out on me. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. Like, there's other people in the world that don't even give a fuck about you, God, and you're helping them, and I actually give a fuck about you and you're not helping me. That's so stupid. Like, that belief was so strong within inside of this character because he believed that only good things can only happen to others and not for him. It's wild. Fucking wild. how the mind used to think. I'm gonna still walk up backwards up this, even with the umbrella. It's crazy how the mind kept thinking that over and over and over, that belief over and over and over again. Huh, that's funny. You know what just happened? My umbrella, something just bounced on my umbrella and flew right off. I was like, what the hell? Or maybe that was the universe saying, hey, I see you. I know you had that thought, but I'm glad that you don't have that thought anymore. I didn't run into any tree because there's no tree out over until the side over there, so I wasn't running into any tree. I definitely know that. That was funny. Well, this will be one of my shortest streams I've had in a very long time. If when I get inside. But we'll see. The wind is actually forcing me forward because I put the umbrella behind me and the wind's pushing the umbrella forward. So creating a little bit of resistance with myself here because it's getting pretty windy. But just like everything else, every day isn't always rain. It's not always sun. You get to change it. This is I can use weather right now. You know, you guys have seen me walking in the sun now, right? You've seen a lot of my warm days. And today is one of those days where it's not warm. Well, it's warmer than our winter days, but it's still cold. Yeah, I can go this way. However, you know, it's not sunny. It's rainy, it's windy, but this is temporary, just like anything else in all of our lives. It's temporary. It only feels permanent because we've internalized it so much, and we've created an identity because we internalized it with so much intensity. Look at the I words I just said there. Internalize, right? Internalized it, intensity. But you get the power in every present moment to alter the course of your emotional state of being. All of us have that ability to alter the state of our being at any time by internalizing a new set of intentions. Look at the robin just chilling on the fence here. We're gonna go through this street. Ooh. Now the rain is picking up. You could only imagine when I was walking out in wintertime what kind of experience I was experiencing, like very, very windy temperatures, very cold temperatures, my hands be freezing. glad I brought my boots. Glad I brought my boots, and glad I decided and I chose wisely which shoes to wear today. Otherwise, I'd be having not the best time walking with wet socks. Oh. Phone battery's at 10%. Well, the stream's gonna end anyways when I get back. So if the stream dies before I get back, well, it dies. But I'll do my best to do my wrap up before I get inside. Goodness gracious, the wind. You know, the thing about me back then was I hated if I had to walk in the rain or walk in the snow. But during this past like 17 months of streaming nonstop was no matter if it rained, it snowed, it's hot, or it was cold, I still did it. Never stopped. Despite all the things that I had to experience, I never gave up on myself. Never stopped. And the layers that I created, positive layers, that I was capable of amazing things. We all are. All of us are. That's why I had to go through and do what I needed to do to share the things I needed to share with each and every one of you to some degree. Because you have the power in every present moment to alter the course of your reality. You really do. Sometimes you might not hear it the first time and it'll land, but you'll have to hear it probably like a third or a fifth time, and then something will just like click in place. But once it clicks in place, watch as things unfold. That's a bar, write it down. Because everything's always unfolding, whether positive or negative. Because reality just is. There's a verse that says, "The rain falls on the just and the unjust. It just is." So when you start to navigate the world from a paradigm of just is, hello. When you start to operate from the paradigm of just is, you start to free yourself from a lot of the narratives of the world, one, and two, you start to feel more empowered because you start to drop a lot of the narratives that you've taken on or the stories that you've entertained. All right, we'll cut through the grass. So there's a pool over there that people will be using come July. It's not going to be opened until after school is finished. And there's a basketball court that I shot my no look behind shot. Not just one, but many. I have 18 no look behind shots right now, and it's all recorded on all my live streams that I did, which is amazing. I just got to find them now. So many live streams, so many. Really will have to hire an editor at some point to go through all my old live streams and find those clips when I'm in my flow and just like clip it and give it. Oh my God. The wind. Holy moly. Feeling that resistance right now. But this is what we're kind of like, what we tend to do in our life. We fight against resistance. When we're supposed to just, you know what? Just let it be and flow. And all will unfold. as it's supposed to. I like how they cut that grass. It's nice. Tomorrow is going to be potentially raining again. So if it rains again, I'll still be out doing my stream, but will not be streaming all day because I don't really want to stream indoors. You all, this channel wants to be outdoors, an outdoorish stream. But we have done a stream indoors. It's just, I want to stream indoor or outdoors more. But let's see, when I get back to the house, let's see what happens. I'll check in with my intuition and see what we're going to be doing. But more than likely, I think the intuition says today you're going to chill, Orion, and you're going to take care of some things. Amazing. We'll definitely have sunshine on Monday. Monday, I'll be with my clients from like 9 a.m. to, well, it really just depends because sometimes I give it a little bit of a buffer time between them, like an hour to 2. And they all know that, they all are aware that I have others, clients as well. So they also are very respectful of like the time allotted that I give to work with them. But I make sure that if there's something very important to leave me, like text me on WhatsApp, because they're all over the world and WhatsApp is just easier to use for that. One person uses Messenger because they don't like WhatsApp, so I'm like, that's fine. Just add me on Facebook and text me there if you need anything. And I have them brain dump. It's important to do a brain dump because when you brain dump, you get to see things. You can talk it out, or I have them either voice message something out or brain dump, and we tackle it when we talk on Monday. Just making sure there's no car coming. My blind side is currently covered with the umbrella. Okay, the phone is at 4%. I more likely than not won't make it back to the house because it's going to go kaput. So for all of you, if the phone goes kaput and stream just dies, well, I'll come back on and turn on the stream and just say my proper goodbye. I'll just get the phone charged up. But I may come back on later this afternoon. Just hang out, chill and chat. We'll see. Play a game or two. Maybe T-Bray will be on and you'll want to play some Dead by Daylight. Or I just hang out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If the sun was out and it was sunny, I would just keep the stream going, obviously. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Scott, I hope, I don't ever hope. I trust that what I shared will start to click soon enough. I'm sure it already is, because there's no accidents why, morning, there's no accidents why, you were brought this way. Well, I can tell you it was actually you that shared it to yourself, because I am you and you are me. So this is actually you, your other self, yourself that got past it, who was sharing with you that you did it and you're doing great. Okay, my phone's at 3%. I didn't charge the phone at the water because it was just wet. I didn't want to put my battery through getting wet today. If the stream just cuts out, it means the phone just died, but I will do my proper wrap up when I'm indoors. Goodness gracious. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. The rain, the wind. I'm gonna have breakfast. I'm gonna save my longer jump rope exercise for next week when the weather should be spectacular. I trust that next Saturday will be awesome because Saturdays are my jump rope day. So today I'll just do my jump rope. I'll do the one I did 2 weeks ago. Because I want to do the 1 hour one on the stream. So I'll be just chilling, doing my thing like I normally do on the stream, but without the stream on. I am a trooper, whether sunny, snowy, rainy, windy, hot, freezing. I just keep going. I've been dubbed the Energizer Bunny by Olga. Just keep going and going. Yep, just keep going and going. Got infinite energy at my disposal. Well, the phone battery's at 2%. I'm almost by the house. Oh my God, man, the wind. Hey, universe, hey. I know you're excited for the wind right now, but hold off. Anytime you see the red car, we're basically back. Watch as I get to the backyard. It just gives out. Oh my God. Whoa. Now you see why I won't be streaming outdoors today. Not happening. Definitely not happening today. The concrete's gonna be like wet. And I really don't want to be indoors because I want to be more expressive. And plus, it's gonna be dark in the room, and I'm like, ugh. I like streaming outdoors. All right, we are back. I have 2% of battery. Maybe, just maybe, I can get my cable plugged in quickly. So out here is, like right here is dry. Yeah, we made it. Kind of made it with 1% of battery. We have 1% of battery, y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna get it in time. We'll see. Will I make it? Yes, I made it. I made it with 1% of battery. Shit. This is like... There we go. Very, very rainy today. I'll leave that out there for now. Yeah, close call indeed. So, like, sitting out here is not a problem, but like, the rain is blowing this way right now, so this is starting to get wet. Normally rain blows this way, so this would be fine. But, you know, unfortunately there's no encasing here to like close it and like and have like an somewhat open closed space, because of, you know, the rain's being super windy, or the wind's just being really windy right now. So 9:57, okay. I don't know if there's anything else I have to say. There's a lot that there's still a lot. I might call when I jump back on later, if I do, I might call it layer part 2, because, you know, what happens on my other channel is if YouTube ever cuts off my streams, I usually make a part 2 or even a part 3. There was a time where I was walking in my trail, did the long walk, and YouTube decided to cut me off randomly. I was using YouTube app and it just decided to turn me off. I'm like, what the hell, YouTube? It's not like I was like snoring or something. But ultimately, I had to make a part 2 and a part 3 because my battery also died too. So yeah. Oh yeah, it's early for you, dude. I know what time it is there, because it's the same as San Diego. Right now it's 6:58, same time zone. I like the West Coast. I'm always aware of the West Coast time because I feel like I'm living in the West Coast time zone, but I'm obviously in the East Coast time zone. Because for me, like every time I'm there, right, I'm in the East Coast or in the West Coast, I feel like I have more time because I know that the East Coast is always 3 hours ahead. So I always feel like I have 3 extra hours more to do stuff. It's great. I love it. It's fucking phenomenal. So the live stream, I've been streaming for about 2 hours and 17 minutes. Okay. My phone, you know the funny thing is, my phone already is at 18%. But the battery's kind of like messed up on it. I have to go and get the battery changed. I have to go to Apple and let Apple give me a new, like change the battery one more time. It's like $100. I did it already. I did it back in December 2024. And they're like, why don't you just buy a new phone? I'm like, because the new phones still don't feel like a new phone, because it just feels like my phone. It just doesn't feel new. It doesn't have anything that's more, you know, the only thing that it has is a USB-C port, which this phone is using Lightning, but this phone has a great camera. This phone does the job. Like, it has a lot of storage. It's still pretty quick. And why do I need to buy a new phone? Like, it doesn't feel, besides the USB-C port, because I don't want to be using Lightning anymore. But the funny thing is, when I'm using my mic receiver, it has a USB-C attachment that allows me to use my microphone and charge the phone, and it uses USB-C. So you can say that this converted that into a USB-C phone, so it doesn't really matter. So there's no big value right now for me to get a newer iPhone, because it's just, I've been into the Apple store, I've been looking at them, I've been playing with them. Like, this doesn't even feel like anything like monumental. Like, I had an iPhone, before this phone I had the iPhone 7 Plus, the one with where you have to press the button. This is a big leap from that. But every phone from the 11 until now is still the same. It doesn't feel anything different, except for maybe the lack of the notch, and they have the dynamic island. I'm all about technology as well too, but there's no point getting a new phone if this phone is doing the job, and I have like half my storage still usable, and I have over 25,000 photos right now and lots of videos on this phone, and and I already backed it up, and I still have so much storage. Here's a setting you can turn on your iPhone to compress the image quality. Unless you're pixel peeping or you're a photo editor, you don't need all that. You don't see the difference. You can't. It's impossible. Your eyes are not capable of seeing all those things. unless your eyes were trained to see pixels. Like the difference between like a really, really high quality photo and a photo that is still pretty good that you can see and you can't really tell the difference. Of course, if the photo's blurry, then that's a different story, but the photos are pretty good and the video's pretty good. Well, y'all, this is going to be kind of weird for me because, like I said, normally I'm always streaming. I'm always streaming, like on my other channel, even when my clients are around. But this is going to be weird because now this channel actually has people, whereas the other channel did not, because a lot of them, they just weren't showing up anymore, and it's going to be weird to not be like streaming all day, but getting used to that too. So this phone is a iPhone 12 Pro Max. So this phone is like, what, 5 years old now? And it's still good, it still does the job. It's my workhorse. It does everything I need it to do, and then some. But then the thing is, I don't use the phone much because I'm streaming, right? Like when I'm streaming, I don't do anything else. Like today, like once I've done the stream, I'm going to just kind of put it to the side and let it charge until it's fully charged, and then later on, if I decide to stream again, I will stream. I might potentially like stream where my green screen is and just have like a chill and chat and answer any questions, like a Q&A. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Well, this is going to be weird for me to end the stream so early, but I appreciate all of you for coming on. I'll see you all a little bit later if I do decide to stream again. And I'm going to kind of like take this in for a moment because at least I'm still continue streaming every day, but this is going to be my first stream where I don't stream for 12 hours in a very, very long time. It's going to be kind of weird, but hey, let's do it. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you. I'll see you later if I do come back on, and if you do jump on and say hello again. Everybody else, have yourselves a wonderful day. I'm going to enjoy this day indoors, chilling, and I'm going to go have breakfast now. Remember, you have the answer right here. It's always here, y'all. Never forget that the answers are right here. All right. Peace. I'll see you later. And if not later, tomorrow. Later, y'all.